So, yeah.
We're on to gaming.
Yeah. That's it for books. So, Jim, what do you got here?
So, well, these are some of the uh, Christmas things that I picked up for Christmas. And, you know, one of the things that I've started collecting a few of is Christian video games. So, I so Wisdom Tree, and this is the copy for those that are watching and the ones that are listening, is Spiritual Warfare, which was by Wisdom Tree. So Wisdom Tree is an offshoot, and actually I saw here on the back of the game, it says Color Dreams. Color Dreams was their main video game line, but then to sell into Christian bookstores and stuff, they developed Wisdom Tree. And what they would normally do is they take one of their Color Dreams games, change the sprite work, and change some of the the cutscenes or whatever to make it work for a Christian game.
Yeah.
And that's like I said, there was one Sunday Funday, and Menace Beach. That's I think what the original term was. Menace Beach was about you trying to go save your girlfriend who was kidnapped, and every single time you see her, she's in a dungeon and her clothes keep deteriorating. So
I'm going to assume that part didn't survive into the Christian version.
The Sunday Funday is about you going to Sunday school and the people trying to stop you from making it to Sunday school. And I've never seen Spiritual Warfare, the game here. I haven't seen it in real life either.
Yeah, we weren't around for the Crusades.
But no, so yeah, I'd actually, this is my first Wisdom Tree game on Nintendo that I have. I have two for Game Boy. I have Exodus and I can't think what the other one is. But yes, I have Exodus as one of them. I got another one, but the one that I'm looking for, I really want to get is the King James Bible on the Game Boy. It's the entirety of the Bible on the Game Boy, but it also has mini games, as the Bible should. But yes, Spiritual Warfare, and I paid $20, or I got it for 20. Well, they got it for $20. That's about what it goes for. So nothing real special there on that. I mean, special to me, but nothing crazy.
Well, still, it's an interesting. A little bit of Nintendo history there.
Yes. Well, the unlicensed games I love unlicensed games. Like, there's some of them that have, like, a dial on the back that, like, if it doesn't work on this setting, flip it to this other setting to get it to work because it's trying to circumnavigate your lockout chip. The best one, though, was Super Noah's Ark 3D. The way it bypassed the lockout chip is it had an adapter so you could plug another game in on top of it so that it would bypass through... and it's a Wolfenstein 3D clone. They took the Wolfenstein 3D engine, and so what I've seen somebody do is they took Wolfenstein 3D and used it to run through Super Noah's Ark 3D so they could play the game on their Super Nintendo.
Well, you mentioned the switch on the thing, and that reminds me of something. I think I sent you the article a couple weeks ago. It was the GameCube controller. The guy who designed it originally wanted a scrolling thing on it. I'm assuming it'd be like the scroll on a mouse because they didn't have the technical specs, but his thinking was for menus in the games, so you could just I'm assuming use your thumb to just scroll through, and it never made it in production, but it was one of those ideas he had, and was like, well, this will be great, and so it kind of ended off with I wonder what other ideas for the controllers have been presented but never went through.
Well, then there's the ideas for controllers that went through that should never have been presented, a.k.a. the Nintendo 64 controller.
Yeah.
Which, again, if you have a Nintendo 64 and you hate that controller, the Hori controller, Hori controller, remedies that and makes it where you can actually use all the buttons in a two-handed computer.
I was waiting for you to be like, you can blame John Smith. He lives in Cincinnati, Ohio at this address.
No. So the next one I got, again, you may not be seeing it on camera, but it's a power adapter with 5 plugs on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plugs. So the idea is that this is a multi-plug so that you can plug up multiple consoles, but what it's truly used for, because this is called what they refer to as the Tower of Power. Yeah, Tower of Power,
Tower of Power, I'm sure.
Is the Sega Genesis 32X Sega CD combo. Takes 3 power adapters, each with its own brick. This was a problem that Sega had back in the day, that Sega actually made a specific power strip for it that had the plugs go a different way versus the way the normal power strips are. Well, I got this. This was actually, well, let's say I ordered it for my parents to get me for Christmas, but I got it off Amazon for like $20, and it's just like a laptop plug with the adapters, and you can plug everything into the Sega Genesis 32X, Sega CD, all with one plug. It only takes up one tiny outlet versus having all this stuff. So
Yeah.
it was like $20 off Amazon. So that was a hell of a deal. And I want to use my 32X as much as I can, 32X Sega CD combo as much as I can. But then this one here, the last thing I have is a electronics mat. So this has got little doors for screws, magnetic sections to also put screws in, numbering so that, like, say if you're putting screws into certain things, like what order you took them out, what order to put them back in. But
And
I
so,
needed
and so when you say electronics mat, you mean a mat to work on electronics components?
Yes. Yeah, so you can solder on it. You can, pretty much just got like I said, little compartments for different screws, magnetic sections, and different things. Yeah, like a soldering gun ain't gonna burn through this or anything like that. So, but I got this because again, one of my plans coming up, probably right after tax time, I'm gonna get it. Is I'm gonna get a SD card reader for my non-working Sega Saturn because the CD drive stopped spinning.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the CD drive out. And you can put a SD card in there, and I can pretty much load whatever games I want to on my Saturn. So I'll have a functioning Saturn, so I can play my legitimate Saturn games on. But then I'll also have the other one so that I can load whatever ROMs I want to on it and be able to play it on the original hardware, but not actually have to have the physical media. And it may even be what I use to play even the games that I own because you don't want to mess those CDs up because Sega CD and Sega Saturn are hard games to come by. Like when I find them, they're usually no less than $20 or more. It's ridiculous. It's also why I haven't got the last two consoles that are on my list because they're in like $400 range just the consoles alone.
What's that?
Atari Jaguar or the Neo Geo.
Mm.
Now I've seen where I can get a fake Neo Geo where it's got
a faux Neo Geo or a Neo Geo.
But hell, they're still like almost as much as the Neo Geo is. But it uses like USB and different things to play. But it supposedly can still play the cartridges and all that.
It'd be like a knockoff purse costing the same as the actual brand.
That's about what it is. And then the Neo Geo games are also just ridiculously expensive. I mean, those games, like, you can barely find any in the $30 or $40 range. Like, most of them are like in the $100 to $200 range.
I don't know if I ever played a Neo Geo.
Well, the Neo Geo also have like the cartridges that are like, I say, like an inch and a half thick, and they're like 4 inches high by like 6 inches wide. The cartridges are just ginormous.
Huh.
But yeah, so I've got that. And eventually I want to be able to play some of these games and actually record our reactions playing like Spiritual Warfare and have the commentary on it. Probably will not, if I ever do get a copy of the King James Bible, I probably will not do a review on that just because it's literally just reading the Bible with a couple of Bible games. So.
I should set that up on my computer and play through Crusader Kings 2.
There's been some YouTube videos we watched that were these games on Steam called John Christian, and he's like got the power of God, and like some of the stuff that he would do to like help people is you'd have to pray for them and heal them spiritually. But yes, some good stuff.
Sounds like it.
So as far as gaming, that's really all that I have at the moment.
All right. I didn't get any. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting a game as a late present from Christmas, but I don't have it yet. The dice that I ordered for Sarah, who you folks, if you're watching the videos, you've hopefully seen her here on the channel before. Ordered some dice for her like 2 years ago off Kickstarter, and yeah, still haven't received them. When I do, they look really awesome because the company was there at Gen Con, not last year but the year before, not this year but the year before, and They had the production samples. They look really nice. I paid quite a bit for them. So hopefully those will be here in time for her birthday now in September of 2024. It'll be the third birthday they should have been here for at this point. So, yeah. Well, the dice, the reason that they're expensive and they're taking so long is each of them they're translucent, and there's a dragon eye inside of them made out of gemstones that has to face like whatever the top number is, like the 20 or the 6, the 8, whatever. And they ran into some issues with them, and then they thought they had it all resolved. They have a container of them here in the U.S., and something like 20 to 30% of them failed the test here in the U.S. as far as like the quality control. So they have put in another order along with their order that they're going to sell on their website, which they've stuck to their guns that they're not doing that until everyone's order's fulfilled. So I'm giving them credit for that. That's the main reason I'm not super pissed off about this. Plus, I've dealt with things on Kickstarter before. Like, I've gotten things 2 years late. It happens. Literally, the only thing I've ever gotten on time were dice. That's it. Like, 2 different batches of dice. One was a month early. Everything else, months, years later than it's supposedly going to be here. But that's just the way it goes on Kickstarter. And I'm actually going to talk a little bit more about that here in a minute. But, so yeah. I'm waiting on those. I did get... Well, we'll address what I did get here in a minute. But no, I don't have anything else on gaming at the moment. So,
like I said, the only other things that I got that were of note is I got a Cat Wars poster or a calendar, which is just cats holding lightsabers. Which, with all the cats that stuff where they had happened today during filming, probably works. Where the cats go to war here, and then my brother bought me a T-shirt with Meow Wars, so it had more cats holding lightsabers on it. So I guess people understand that I've got a couple of cats. I got 3 cats now, and the one has fallen asleep under the camera finally.
Yeah, it's right by the tripod.
Yeah, so if the camera shakes a little bit, he's rolling around into it, so he's finally calmed down a little bit. But no, it's mostly that, and mostly getting stuff for the kids for Christmas and getting them all taken care of and happy and enjoying it. I don't really care too much about getting... I mean, I like getting gifts, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't really need it. For me now, it's passing it on to other people and getting them what they want. And,
yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I'd say about the only other things I got were money, primarily.
Dinero.
And like I said, I've got a BattleTech book. Which has a whole story there, very briefly. I'm the one that had to order it. So, because my parents are like internet illiterate. And they're like, well, we want something to put under the tree because we're mainly just going to give you cash. And I was like, all right, fine. And so I just ordered a book off Amazon. It's a BattleTech book.
Well, that's what I did with the power adapter here. My parents were like, just order something for you, and then,
Yeah, it's not the first time I've had to do this, so... But yeah, I think that's about all we got for gaming. So, on to streaming. Thank you for watching. This has been a Geek Cabal video, Echoes of a Whisper. This has been a clip from one of our podcasts. The link to the actual podcast this is from is in the description of the video if you want to see the entire thing, which we obviously encourage you to do. But otherwise, if you enjoyed what you saw, a thumbs up is always appreciated. Subscriptions and all the rest is definitely appreciated. Comments, as always. But just in general, thank you for watching. Hope you liked it. And check out the other videos we have here on the channel. See you later.